What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone once again live with the man, the bro of bros, the hits maker, the beat maker, the candlestick maker, the heat seeker,
Slobby Bobby. You forgot to call me Slobby Bobby, bro.
Slobby Bobby, bro.
Chris, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When is the Royal Rumble?
A week from Sunday.
A week from this Sunday. Okay, so we only have to sleepwalk through one more Raw before the Royal Rumble.
Yep, next Raw is the go-home show.
Oh my God, bro! Like this isn't even cruise control. Like I don't even know how to define this, bro. Like I really don't, man.
I agree with you, man. This was a head scratcher. This was definitely a head scratcher, and lots of just moments for me as a watcher, as a fan of the product. You know, it's like I told you before, man. I do my best to put on a fan hat too when I watch this stuff, but it's really difficult not to just put on the work hat and not the fan hat.
You can't listen, man. Hey, listen. Come on, Chris. I've been a fan of a lot of really bad sports teams. Mm-hmm. And, bro, when they're bad, I don't make excuses for them. When you're bad, you're bad. Whether I'm a fan or not, when you're bad, you're bad.
Yes.
Bro, let's back it up to SmackDown. Bro, 2 weeks ago, Paul Heyman pulled some strings to get Adam Pearce in a match, right? The next week later, Adam Pearce claims that he's not cleared to wrestle, and then he puts Kevin Owens in the match. What happened to the strings Paul Heyman pulled? Like it's shit like that. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry, but it's like guys, like I don't like Chris. It's like they could put anything out there. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. If it doesn't make it, they're at the point now. It doesn't even matter. When we open up the show, Randy Orton gets his face burnt. Mm-hmm. All he cares about is he's on the Royal Rumble. Alexa Bliss, the woman who burnt him, is on the show not once but twice, and Randy Orton does nothing.
No interaction.
It doesn't like it. They're at the point, bro. I really listen to Vince, Stephanie, Bruce, whoever. Like, bro, they don't care. They're literally at the point right now of not caring. I don't know if they're writing this show at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, but they're writing this show like we just got to put something on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it feels that way.
Excuse for it, bro. There's no excuse for it, man.
Yeah.
And how does Randy Orton? How many years has Randy Orton been there in the company?
02. So this is 19th year.
How does Randy Orton, after 20 years, not say, wait a minute? She threw fire in my face, disfigured me, and I'm going to cut a promo about being in the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Randy. Like, what are they going to do? Fire you if you speak up?
Right.
I mean, Chris, it's like you can't be nice about this because they sure as heck don't care about the viewer of this show.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. It's really difficult to say anything positive about this Raw. And you made a good point about SmackDown. It's just, we were strung along to actually think that there could have been something that could have happened from Adam Pearce winning the #1 contendership. And what do we get? Another Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns match.
And Chris, I'm always giving them the benefit of the doubt. I know in the back of my mind, like, this is going nowhere based on their track record. But bro, I'll always give them the benefit of that. Let's see what they do. When I saw the end of SmackDown, I'm like, are you guys serious, man?
Yeah. Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, so essentially, in their minds, they're thinking, so you know what's going to happen? We're going to put Pierce here as a red herring, and that'll make them really want to see Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns again. Not just a regular match, a cage match didn't do, but a last man standing match. Now, this will really hook them. That's their logic.
You know, bro, Heyman says 2 weeks ago he pulled some strings. Bro, the only strings you could be pulling is Vince McMahon. Yeah. But wasn't it already established that Pierce is working for McMahon? Remember, he made him get in the Postman outfit. So Vince McMahon is Adam Pierce's boss. Mm-hmm. So then I guess Heyman went over Pierce's head to Vince. Mm-hmm. Vince allows him to be in that match. But then Pierce gets the last laugh that he's not cleared to wrestle. And now Pierce is going to put, like, bro, you freaking high? Like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, and it's making the one thing that they have, to me, the one thing that they have going for them is everything Roman Reigns to me. I'm really big on what I see with Roman Reigns, but it's making it's dumbing it down. It's dumbing down the reality factor. It's dumbing down the character of the head of the table. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? When Jey Uso had meant something, now it's just a gimmick. It feels like a gimmick.
They just did Adam Pearce just outsmart Roman Reigns?
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, so Adam Pearce, who I don't know from Adam,
Pierce
just one up the head of the table. Right. So Roman's got to sit at the kid table next week.
Right. Right. He's got to sit at the lunch table with all the weirdos, all the rejects.
Come on, you guys, have a little pride in your work.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. 100%. You outsmart the head of the table. Like Adam Pearce outsmarts the head of the table by putting Kevin Owens in yet another match against Roman Reigns, as if we're supposed to buy into that somehow. And so, yeah, that's your Royal Rumble main event, ladies and gentlemen, other than Goldberg and Drew McIntyre. Speaking of that, we open as we talked about with the Randy Orton promo with a Mr. Wrestling number 1 mask, and he's got a burn mask on, very scathing promo. And where is the promo lead? Very creative, very scathing promo. Orton's really good at that. And so this all leads to Alexa Bliss just doesn't want me to be a part of the Royal Rumble.
Unbelievable.
And I saw that and I said, oh, this is pretty good. Oh.
Bro, I mean, come on, man. You just figure you're wearing a mask and you're here to declare you're in the Royal Rumble. Like, come on, man. Come on.
All that big promo leads. Alexa Bliss just doesn't want me to be in the Royal Rumble. And we don't see any interaction between the two at all. So I'm just wondering if they're veering away from that, or if are they picking it back up, because Fiend's supposed to be the baby face in this thing, but Alexa Bliss is clearly a heel. So, but Alexa misses the Fiend. Looking forward to having him back. Now we have little Jamel, I guess. It's not little Jimmy, it's little Jamel, I guess, that's just sitting next to Alexa Bliss on the swing. I don't know.
I just don't know, bro. From a business point of view, like how do you have the Fiend off this show for like 4 or 5 weeks now?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, man? If I'm USA Network, I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And even if they're trying to sell the fire, like it feels stretched at this point. Like everything about the setup for the Fiend feels stretched. And so it's lowering my anticipation to want him to even come back. At this point, I'm almost to the point of when he comes back, I'm like, he's back.
See, that's a very important point you make there, Chris, because you and I, when you say this is stretched, you and I have to stick with it because that's what we do. We do this show. I have Russo's brand. But, bro, for the average viewer, when it starts feeling stretched, they're gone.
That's right.
And they left this story weeks ago. Bro, when the Fiend got burned and he didn't show up the next week, okay, let's come back next week. When he didn't show up week number 2, they're gone.
Yep. We get Ric Flair and Lacey Evans having a backstage interview, and so this is all leading to you're the backstage segment police, so I don't really have anything to say about this.
The only thing I'm waiting for out of this is Lacey's laugh, and she didn't give it to us.
Oh man,
she didn't give us the fake laugh at the end of this promo. It must be because I put it over last week. Somebody listened into this show, so it was probably screw Russo and that Featherstone kid. We're gonna take away Lacey's laugh, and I was pissed off.
Yeah. Vince would call me the Featherstone kid. So. And I would say, Vince, it's the Dr. Featherstone kid. Get that right.
Doctor kid, bro. Screw that Dr. kid, man.
Absolutely. Then we get Charlotte Flair defeating Peyton Royce. I mean, I guess since Peyton Royce defeated Charlotte, it led to I think they announced that that Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans is going to have a tag title match against Charlotte and Asuka, but Charlotte and Asuka are doing their own things separately, and somehow they're supposed to come back as a unit, and they're doing really like 2 different angles with the tag team titles now. So.
And just the fact that Charlotte's distracted because Lacey Evans is wearing Rick's robe, like that's
right,
bro,
right.
Oh God, help me!
Yeah, this is supposed to be over to the fans, though, Vince.
Oh my!
This is supposed to be riveting television.
Well, it was riveting because we did follow this up with Slobby Bobby.
We did. That's riveting TV right there.
Stepping on the foot, which he no-sold.
Yeah. And the camera shot was terrible. I rewound it a time or two.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like at least you could sell the camera shot."
Yeah.
It was totally like about this big of a gap between the stomp and Riddle's foot, and he had to sell it anyways. I'm like, man, that cameraman's probably going to be chewed out after that. Yeah. Then we get Mustafa Ali doing a promo on Kofi Kingston. So Okay,
Bro,
so
this is the same Ricochet thing. We're repeating Ricochet with Xavier Rule. So, bro, we did Ricochet for about 5 weeks, I think. Nothing became of it. They beat the crap out of him, didn't get him to join.
Nothing at all.
Bro, we're going to do the same exact thing with Xavier Woods. Then, by that time, Kofi Kingston will be ready to come back.
Yeah, they're going to do it with him.
Yeah. what are you doing, man? Who's watching this? Who's watching this?
Well, by the week, it's less and less people statistically. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's they're selling the angle of Mustafa Ali is upset that Kofi got his spot 2 years ago. And so now he's beating up Xavier Woods because Kofi's jaw's broken. So Xavier's taking the L's like weekly now. So he's, like you said, he is the exact slot of what Ricochet is for the past, month and a half.
Yep.
So, I mean, and that makes Xavier Woods look so bad, man. I mean, for someone who was the longest reigning tag team of all time of WWE history, you're making him come out every week and just lose against Mace and T-Bar. I mean, just two terrible gimmicks. If it was actually Donovan Dijak, the person, I would be more intrigued to see that. And then Mace, when he was Dio Madden, he was announcing Raw and he had that face-to-face with Brock Lesnar. He's a big dude, he's got a lot of potential. I think they're just so limited with those just ugly mug looking gimmicks. I think it really limits their character a lot.
Yeah. I don't know these guys, bro, because I don't watch NXT, and I bet you I would feel the same way if I actually knew what these guys look like. But yeah, bro, it's just Xavier Woods in the place of Ricochet. That's all it is.
Yeah. And then after that, so this will be another couple of weeks. And then after that, we'll get Kofi Kingston. And so now this is going to be for the rest of 2021. It's going to be insert person here. Yeah. Lose against Retribution for about a month to a month and a half. Rinse, repeat. So that's
they don't join. The guy doesn't join. And on the next guy.
Yeah. So week 6, it'll be like, if you don't win, you'll join. The person won't win, but somehow the next week they'll jump into an entirely different angle without any type of bridge to understand. Yeah. So I from what I understood, Ricochet's supposed to be working for Retribution now, right? I thought that was the stipulation with the match a few weeks ago, that if he lost, that he would have to join Retribution, but nothing's came from that.
I don't even remember. I don't even. That tells you how important it was to me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We get WrestleMania announcements. That Triple H and Stephanie just
Chris, I'm going to say it again. If there was a disclaimer at the beginning of the show that this is a parody of what a wrestling show used to be, it's over with me. I'm laughing. I'm going hysterical with Triple H's wig. I'm howling. I'm howling at the moon. But the fact that we're supposed to take what we're seeing seriously, bro, I'm telling you. Listen, I do a dirt sheet show with a guy by the name of Billy Body. Okay. And Billy Body has a 10-year-old son named Austin. This kid's a wrestling fan, very smart. Bro, a 10-year-old kid says, because he does a report every week, a 10-year-old kid says this stuff is not funny. It's stupid.
Wow.
A 10-year-old kid. So if a 10-year-old kid thinks this stuff is stupid, who's laughing at this stuff?
Yeah. And who's your audience? Like, who's your target audience?
Like this? Bro, who's your audience?
Well, I think the medium age is in the 50s now, like 53 or 4. That's the age right now for those who watch WWE. So yeah, it's.
I mean, what is the point of Triple H sitting there with a wig? Like, what's the point of that? What is the point?
None. There's none. I mean, somehow somebody thought that was a good idea, and it's just bombed like every other idea that we see. Yeah,
awful, man.
I did pop at Hugh Can't See Me. I thought that was pretty funny. So I did pop at that. That was pretty. Cena's segment was pretty funny. You know, they put Sasha in some type of, whatever, that was interesting as far as you heard it here first. But again, it's like, I mean, the parody of this, it's like, it just makes the show look more Bush League to me.
Cheesy.
Yeah, it does.
It's all cheesy, bro. It's all cheesy.
We get Alexa's playground with Asuka. This was leading to the match later on in the evening. Now, here's the thing as far as what I didn't like with this, that they're really putting some effort in Alexa's character, and I'm okay with that. Well, what I don't like is the fact that they're really making Asuka look like a wimp, and I don't like that whatsoever. I think when you first got Asuka in the NXT, there was like a year and a half where she didn't lose. Even Goldberg tweeted about it. And then they brought her up to the main roster, still was kind of playing on her losing streak. She just randomly lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. That really derailed her character a lot. But her character was revolved around being mysterious, being very aggressive, bringing that Japanese flavor to American wrestling. And now they just don't even care about protecting her character. And the fact that I've said this before, the more they put her on the mic, the more, to me, as an Asuka fan, she's one of my favorites. But the more they put her on the mic, the more it diminishes her character.
Oh, that popped somebody in the back. Somebody popped in the back. That's exactly what happened. Bro, you know what it reminds me of? I swear, I'll give you a perfect example, but this was good.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of when I was backstage one day, minding my own business in the TNA locker room, and I heard Jay Lethal do Savage. But that was good.
Yeah.
Like that. Then I heard him do Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody heard Asuka just rant and rave and cut some kind of a promo. They thought it was funny, and that became her character.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else went out the window. She put on the kabuki green crying makeup,
Mm-hmm.
and she went out there every week and cut these promos where you didn't know what she was saying because, bro, she did it in the back and it popped somebody. And that somebody was probably Vince.
Yeah.
And that became Asuka's character. That's exactly what happened, bro. I guarantee it.
Wow. Oh, what a letdown.
And this went no place. This Alexa Bliss Asuka went no place. This is supposed to be a build-up for later on in the show. Again, Randy Orton, I don't know where he is. Yeah. I guess he's putting a face cream on his nose. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But this is supposed to be a build-up. Chris, did anything happen in this segment that made you want to see the match more?
No, it made me want to see it less because as an Asuka fan, it made her look like a joke.
Yeah, nothing happened. Yeah,
nothing for me. Shayna Baszler once again. Talk about stretching once again. Ooh. They're stretching.
How many weeks have we seen this? But how many weeks have we seen?
It's been at least a month.
Oh my God!
Yeah, in some variation, at least a month. And I mean, Dana Brooke a couple of weeks, Mandy Rose a couple of weeks. It's been at least a month. And I see nothing coming out of this, especially when I think Dana Brooke picked up a win once, but other than that, every single week they lose. Yeah. So what are we getting from watching this angle? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why am I continuing to be interested? Well, first of all, I wasn't interested at all. But why would I continue to be interested in an angle that Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke lose every single week just about against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler?
Bro, I have no idea. I'm just watching this match and I'm like, I've seen this so many times. Bro, I swear at this point, you've got to be a die-hard WWE, I'm watching this show no matter what, fan, to watch this show. Because the reason why I'm saying that is, why would you watch this match for the 5th time?
Yeah.
Why would anybody watch it unless you are a diehard, bro, I am going to watch this no matter. Hey, bro, listen, I'll never forget back in the 80s, Chris, I swear, back in the 80s, one year, the San Francisco Giants lost 100 games. Chris, I watched every one of their losses to the end, okay? That's how committed you've got to be at this point to watch this show.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It has to be. I mean, the fan base has to be like the diest of diehard fans.
It has to be, bro.
I can't see anybody, especially anybody who hasn't watched wrestling for a number of years, come back and stay. That's for sure. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're continuing to lose viewership over the years, and so people are trickling down or tapering down, and so the people are just like, you know what? I love wrestling. It's my Monday thing. I continue to do it. I continue to watch. But you know what, Vince, this is what I'm convinced about, okay? Since this show was so over, the Raw audience, solely for the purpose of watching Raw before listening to our show. So let's just go with that. So before they listen to our show, they want to watch Raw, and so to be more in tune to what we're talking about. Let's just go with that, Vince. We'll see that. We'll say that that's the audience instead of people who just want to watch it, because that's not happening.
You know, bro, it's really weird. I think I spoke to you about this last week. I just started watching The Walking Dead. I just finished season 5. Chris, there were a couple of times where I was so close to turning it off. Bro, like the cannibalism got a little much to me. But Chris, here's the thing. There was always something to make me, it has strung me along 5 seasons. There's always something. There's something. What is that something on this show? What is that one something that I'm tuning into? Bro, you've told your audience, okay, guys, you're not going to see The Fiend till the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So like you've already told them that. Randy made that clear by saying, I'm in the Royal Rumble. So when I look at this 3-hour show, and I am asking a legitimate question, I know you take questions during this and comments, Chris, literally in 3 hours, give me one single thing that is keeping you here.
Yeah.
Because, bro, when I watch television, Chris, when you lose me, you lose me. Bro, The Office. Okay, bro, when Michael Scott left The Office, it was over. And what I tried to do, bro, was after the character, left, I tried to watch it a couple more episodes because I had watched all these seasons. Bro, you lost me. There was no reason to watch that. That character was the show. What you 1.5 million people. What is keeping you here aside from the fact that wrestling is in the market?
Yeah. That's a legitimate question. So anybody who wants to answer that question,
seriously, guys, I'm asking you seriously, because if you continue to watch this show, you got to explain to me why.
Yeah, like I said, I'll just go with the fact that they love this show so much, the Legion of Raw, that they'll watch it just to be more in tune with this show. Yeah, I mean, this is a legitimate answer, fans. There's 100 people on here right now.
I'd like you, seriously, please tell me, like, what's the hope spot? Like, what is keeping you tuned into this show?
Yeah, Derek says only the return of Eva Marie could bring me back as a viewer. So there you go. Next we have AJ Styles. AJ Styles and Ricochet. So
wait a minute, hold the phone.
Oh, all right. No, okay. Is it backstage, please?
I think there are people that are gonna come back next week just in case Jeff Jarrett has more insights on
okay, the Jeff Jarrett spot.
Double J has more insights. Maybe he forgot something. I think they're gonna come back next week so we can hear who Jeff Jarrett. Bro, like, well, what is that doing? What is that? Where is the added value there?
No, zero, absolutely zero. Yeah. I looked at that and I said, I mean, talk about again. I look at this show and I think stretch. I think they are doing what I mean. Like it's a 3-hour show that really only has about an hour. Half of it is just relevant content. Everything else is an absolute stretch. Multiple meaningless segments. Like it's gotten to the point right now that they're having interviews at the gorilla position of wrestlers before they go out and fight and compete against each other. That's ridiculous.
One of the favorite parts of my job, okay, and this is a lost art because of laziness. Chris, I would write the show, me and Ed would write the show, whatever. We had all our backstage segments, okay? Bro, we'd have the production meeting that day. We're going over the show. As soon as the production meeting is over, Chris, I am combing the entire building looking for unique, different locations. Because, Chris, that was so much fun for me because every building's different. Every building has its own personality. So, bro, literally, you would comb the entire building and find these cool locations. And, bro, you know what the cool thing about that was, too? When you got the talent and brought them to the location, they were excited about it because it was different. It was unique. If there was a fight, that there were toys that they could play with. They really got to use their imagination. And every single look in that show was different. Bro, now they bring him to the same generic vanilla background. That's just laziness. When they rent out the building, Chris, they have access to the entire building. They can do whatever they want, wherever they want. And I know, bro, they're in the Thunderdome. They're in the same building. But, bro, we've seen the same spot since they've been in that building.
Yeah, and it's Tropicana Field. It's a huge venue. It's a baseball field. So they've tarped off, like they've blocked off and sectioned off only a part of it. That's the reason why they're not having fans at the Royal Rumble, because they don't want to take all the LED stuff down. But it's like you've got, I mean, it's a field. It's a whole baseball stadium.
That's what freaking pisses me off, because I know that's just lack of effort, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's an entire baseball stadium, Vince. Like you have so many different parts that you can use on this baseball stadium. It's huge, and so it's like, okay, so we keep getting the one section of the huge backstage of the baseball field that seats 40,000+ people. And that one spot is where we get.
Bro, I swear to you, when we were doing TNA at Universal Studios, bro, we had a representative from Universal with us like all the time. And like we were only allowed to use here, there, like we could only use where they let us. Chris, do you know how many times I would ditch that ref, take my crew, and we would go to places we were not allowed to be, and then I would get my hand slapped, and the next week. But that's because, bro, I wanted something different. I wanted to give the show a new look, a new feel. They don't care, bro. Yeah. How many times you're walking down the hall, here's Charlie, like, oh my gosh, come on, man.
Yeah, Michael brings up a good point. Could have fights in the dugout. That'd be pretty cool.
Michael, they've got a batting cage underneath the stadium, bro. Yep. You got batting cages there. You've got locker rooms. You've got huge whirlpools. You got showers. You got lockers, bro. You've got everything.
Concession stands.
Yeah, everything. It's laziness, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, why can't you just have some type of gimmicky, concession stand, type of thing. Just change up the scenery. We're seeing the same spots every single week of this huge, stadium, baseball stadium. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So AJ Styles and Ricochet, like I was saying, it's so much of a stretch now that they're actually segmenting interviews of two people going against each other in the gorilla position before right behind the curtain before they go out. I mean, that to me, that's like that just really tips the cake to me. It really takes the cake that you're actually segmenting this apart of the show. That really feels like a stretch to me. So Ricochet and AJ get interviewed beefing and talking against each other before they go out.
And meanwhile, now I think we can all agree, Ricochet is in the jobber role. The only problem is, though, before they put Ricochet in the jobber role, they didn't make us care about him. So when AJ Styles is beating Ricochet, he's beating nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, because you know why? Oh, bro, the 1.5 million people can't wait to watch that 6-star match.
Right.
You continue to watch that 6-star.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I just don't see how this is helping AJ Styles as a heel. I mean, I just don't get it. It definitely isn't helping Ricochet as a babyface. That's for sure. Nope. And I mean, I think it's really obvious that there has to be something going on with Ricochet in WWE right now. I mean, there's some rumors of not extending his contract and all that. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure, but at the same time, it's like the writing seems to be on the wall of what they're doing with Ricochet. Because typically, when they have those contract things, they did the same thing with FTR. Typically, when they have these contract expiration timelines, they usually try to job someone out to make their stock a lot lower before they leave the brand, but leave the WWE.
Yeah. So
it seems like they're doing that with Ricochet. So we'll see. So we get the Miz TV segment with Goldberg. They hype up Goldberg, and so they're supposed to. So I guess this was the bait and switch tactic for the WWE to continue people to watch the show, segment after segment. Bait and switch. Goldberg's on the show. Okay, there's still Goldberg marks. Me being one of them. Who's still a fan of Goldberg. Although I'm really not liking this feud. I've said that before. So they bait and switch and say, hey, so we got Goldberg come out. Goldberg's coming out, and all of a sudden we get Gillberg, does his Gillberg spiel, and then we get some type of melting candle, Drew McIntyre, impersonation, purposely the hair coming off, purposely the accent. He's from New Jersey. All of this, again, what does this do to forward anything? And then at the end, Miz teases a possible Money in the Bank cash in. But at the same time, that segment could represent your new future WWE champion.
Bro, first of all, we came up with Gillberg on my dime.
That's true.
The point is, bro, that was like 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Like if you saw it, this might have been funny, but I guarantee you very few people knew Gillberg was a thing in 1997. Mm-hmm. So like I was even okay. I gave him a pass with that, but then this jabron comes out as it's a nobody. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bro, like literally, I could see something like this on an indie show.
Yeah.
I literally could see something like this on an indie show.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah. To me, the Gillberg spiel gave me a couple chuckles, but to me, the couple chuckles is someone coming to the same comedy club saying the same exact joke to the same audience. So it's like you get an audience, you come to the comedy club, but maybe you'll get a different audience, maybe you'll get another people, but you come to the comedy club intentionally saying the same joke.
Yeah.
And at first it got just a parade of laughs, and now it's just a couple chuckles because the joke is funny, but you said it so much that it's not that funny.
Bro, I got to tell you, wrestling as a whole is real bad with comedy. Bro, every time any wrestling company tries to do comedy, it always comes up cheesy and corny and lame.
Yeah.
Bro, they cannot write intelligent comedy. They just can't do it.
Yep. I agree. Then we get the Hurt Business defeating Riddle and Lucha House Party. Again, man, just another segment I just didn't care for. I just, just every week, one thing I did say, I did think about was, it looks like WWE has paid attention to our Apollo Creed, Ivan Drago, analogy when it comes to Rocky, and continuing to build up the heel as and Bobby Lashley, but it's filled with all of this dissension crap between Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. To me, there's no point of that. The Hurt Business should be a cohesive unit, just running roughshod to everybody.
And you want to know what's total bullshit? Can I? Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. It's total crap, Chris. Can I just call them on this?
Yeah, please. Absolutely.
This is where, bro, sometimes they come across as just so insincere. Okay. Yeah. Bro, we saw the whole open about Martin Luther King. Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got this group of 4 African Americans,
studs,
and they don't put Martin Luther King. You see what I mean?
I was thinking the same thing, Vince.
That's why it's such BS, bro. Like, you're gonna give me this package, and then these guys.
Yep.
These guys are not, as a matter of fact, not one African American on the show
was properly represented.
It was properly, or is even going to bring up his name, bro.
Yeah.
Not one is even going to bring up his name.
Yeah.
Gosh,
absolutely.
Bro, I watch the MLB Network every single day, and bro, there must have been 5 current baseball players and former baseball players on today's show, all talking about Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Here we had how many? We had the Hurt Business. We had
Ricochet.
We had Ricochet. We had
Xavier Woods.
We
had Mace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to believe this little horse and pony show you give me up front is real.
Yeah.
When not one single African American is going to put over Martin Luther King on the show.
Yep.
Come on, man.
100% agree. 100%. I just, as a black male, I agree with that 100%. And I think it just felt cheap to me. It just felt like you just had to honor Martin Luther King. Like it just felt cheap to me.
Right.
Yeah. And I know that there's I know that Vince says that Martin Luther King's his biggest role model. And if he is, that's fine. But at the same time, I think that you continue the big tribute throughout the show.
Exactly, bro. That's where I don't want to hear Jeff Jarrett and the fake fight.
Exactly.
Let me hear Booker T talk about Martin Luther King. Let me hear Mark Henry talk about Martin Luther King. Ron Simmons talk. But let me hear those people talk about that. I want to see. Let those people speak from the heart.
What about, this would have been perfect if you would have had Keith Lee at the end of the show go against, I don't know, anybody, Sheamus, anybody. Keith Lee gets a clean win, and at the end he points to the Tron, and it's a picture of Martin Luther King or his "I Have a Dream" speech. He could have easily done that to end the show.
That's why that stuff just comes across as insincere. Just come on, man.
And Keith Lee wasn't even used. He wasn't even used on the show. The one show that he missed is on Martin Luther King Day. I don't understand. And to me, I think there's purposes for one-offs, just to create moments. And to me, I think that Keith Lee should have ended the show, won a clean match, pointed to the screen, Martin Luther King speech, and after the I Have a Dream speech fades off, there's the show. That's a memory right there.
Yep.
That's a memory.
Yep.
There's purpose. One-offs have really good purposes if it creates lasting memories.
Yeah.
We didn't get that today. Instead we got a terrible Raw.
And
Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, here's another thing I just want to say. Listen, I like Matt Riddle. I do like him. Bro, if I was working with Matt Riddle, I could do a million things with him. But again, bro, you always see Matt Riddle's a great worker, great worker. Chris, if you are barefooted and a guy pushing 300 pounds, 6'6", wearing dress shoes, stomps on your foot, bro, you're breaking the foot's broken.
Oh, absolutely.
The foot is going to be broken. Bro, he no-sold the foot through see, to me, that's not a great worker.
Yep.
That's not, bro, he no-sold it through the entire match.
Yeah.
Foot should have been broken. They should have did the old trainer says he can't go. It's broken.
Yeah.
No, I'm going anyway, whatever. But even strap one of those freaking boots on him.
Yeah, put him a boot on. Yeah.
He no-sold it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, bro? Somebody should take him in the back and let Bobby Lashley do that for real. Mm-hmm. And then Riddle will see how his foot feels.
Yeah.
Come on.
And they taped his sole and his ankle.
Right, exactly. Like he twisted an ankle.
Yeah, he stomped the top of his foot and they taped his sole and his ankle. I'm like, okay. So again, it feels stretched. It just seems like they had to do that as a part of the show because it's a 3-hour show that feels stretched. I get that feeling every single week. We get Jeff Hardy defeating Jackson Riker because of interference by Elias. Another angle that I have no interest in.
Well, Chris, not only that, bro, we've got this. This happened 3 times on the same show.
Mm-hmm.
We had Team Pretty with Baszler and Nia Jax arguing.
I love that name.
Right? Well, that's Ben Hameen. I stole that from Ben Hameen.
I love it.
We got Team Pretty arguing. We've got the Hurt Business arguing, and we've got 3 times on the same freaking show, bro.
Yep. And somehow we're supposed to be interested in this every week. It's the same stuff every week. We get Alexa Bliss. It wasn't even close to his foot. We get Alexa Bliss defeating Asuka. Again, it's one of those things that they're pushing Alexa Bliss. They're making her looks spooky. I just don't see the purpose. I mean, look, if you want to do this with Alexa, I'm totally fine with that. But make it make sense to me from a storyline perspective. If I'm looking at The Walking Dead or any type of episodic television, and I see the Fiend who turned Alexa Bliss to the dark side, but Alexa Bliss is still there, but somehow we're supposed to believe, without he even becoming a babyface or showing any babyface qualities, we're supposed to believe that the Fiend is going to be babyface. But he's gone though. But Alexa Bliss, who's supposed to bring him back, who misses him, still is a very clear heel. Vince, make this make sense to me.
Bro, I swear, I'm just thinking this the whole time. Because this is so beyond any kind of belief, okay? Yeah. All I'm thinking about is, okay, bro, so the lights go out, Alexa Bliss changes shirts and puts on black lipstick. Okay, here we go. That's really what we're talking about here, bro. Her shirt went from pink to black, and her lipstick went from pink to black, and now she's a badass because she's under some kind of hypnotic.
Yeah. because the lights went off. So don't turn the lights off in front of around Alexa Bliss.
And Randy Orton nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
Nope. And that's how we ended the show. That was the end of the show.
What's my what's my hook for next week? What is the hook for next week? We're gonna tune in to see. Wow, bro, let's tune in next week to see what color her Alexa Bliss's eyeshadow is, because if it's pink, she's going to be good, but if it's black, she's going to be bad. So let's figure out what that, like, what is the hook, man?
But even when she went back to the pink, she does the Fiend Let Me In. So it's like, what are we getting at here? What is the point of all this? Is she a good guy, bad guy? Who's the Fiend's going to be when he come back? I don't understand, man.
I can't imagine. Every time we say Alexa Bliss, Alexa off. Okay, bro. Every time I say Alexa Bliss, Alexa comes on in the background. You hear this?
Oh, wow. Alexa's over.
I cannot imagine. The week before, give me somebody. China throws fire in Steve Austin's face. And Austin goes down selling. We go off the air hot. I could not imagine approaching Austin the next week when he says, okay, Vince, what are we doing tonight? Steve, you're going to cut a promo at the beginning of the show. I can't imagine telling him you are not going to go looking for China with a machete and a machine gun. Right. I can't imagine not telling him that. And that's why I say, bro, some of this has to fall on the talent.
Yeah.
When you're Randy Orton, bro, and you got 20 years seniority, and they ain't gonna do a damn thing if you open up your mouth and complain, and they're telling you there is no retribution whatsoever, and you're gonna cut a promo about being in the Royal Rumble, you've got to be saying at that point, like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Girl burnt my face last week. No, we are addressing this. If you can't come up with something, then I will.
Yeah.
You know, bro, there has to be a point where the talent is takes responsibility as well.
Why couldn't they just insert a Let Me In and then all of a sudden an RK out of nowhere to Alexa Bliss? If they would have just added that into it, at least that would have been some type of continuity. For me, I saw zero continuity on this show from Orton's face getting burned last week.
Yeah.
Only thing we get was a 5-minute promo at the beginning of a 3-hour show.
With what Alexa did to, Oscar at the end, because it was so unbelievable, because Oscar's hitting Alexa, who's the same person with the same arsenal, and now she's not selling anything. So at the end of this show, Alexa Bliss had heat. That was more valuable than what you just said. Lights out, come back on, boom, RKO.
Yep.
Really, the finish we saw was a better finish than that. And then, bro, you want to go one step further, okay? He's standing over her, okay? She's selling, and he takes the mask off, and now we see his face.
Yeah.
How hard is that to do?
Yeah, it's not.
Again, you left, okay, Alexa Bliss is hypnotized, and she's under a spell, and she wins the match, and okay, and I'm watching next week because...
Yeah, and again, that makes the champion look bad. Because, first of all, Asuka is in the middle of a feud with Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. She's the women's champion, so it makes her look bad. And then she's just an afterthought after this. She loses the match as the champion, and she's just an afterthought. That just goes to show how much her relevance as the women's champion. That bothers me.
Here's what's going on, Chris. And I'm not making excuses for them, because there's no excuse at all. This is getting written the day of, whatever they're doing all week long. I don't know. I guess, Triple H and Stephanie are making this masterpiece. So, they can't work on creative. But this is being worked on the day of, up until showtime. And bro, they're not really able to look through this thing with bro, we always used to say when we were done with that show, fine tooth comb it. There's no way. They don't have the time to fine tooth this show.
Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden you got this product and we're watching from home and we're scratching our heads like, wait, Randy Orton ain't going to do anything? Like, did you guys forget about that part? But that's exactly what's happening, bro. Yeah. And that isn't any way to write a show. Your system is broken, and that's why you're getting shows like this.
100% agree. Yep. And it, again, it feels contrived.
Yep.
I keep saying the same thing over as a college professor. If I can tell if someone wings a paper do.
Yep.
This feels like a winged paper do. I'm reading it. I'm saying, oh yeah, they definitely were winging this one, and it feels that way.
The beautiful thing is, man, when Ed and I were writing the show, bro, talent would have the show in their hand on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, when Rock is looking over Rock's storyline, Rock can see if there's any holes, if we missed anything. Austin's looking over his piece. Taker's looking over his piece. Mick's looking over his piece. So now on Thursday, you're getting all these eyeballs. On Friday, we're talking to them. Mm-hmm. So, like, if we missed anything, they're all over it, bro. It was a check and balance
system.
But the way this is, it's like there's so many things falling through the cracks and so many things being repeated because you cannot write a television show the day of, bro.
Yep. Yeah, and it feels like it when you do. And it also feels that none of the wrestlers have any part to play in this. It's like they're just reading lines. They're having to just cram lines in their heads a couple hours before and just cram it in there and just go with it. That's
bro, when you write the show, like Chris, when I have to write out all the promos because I've got to know what this show looks like.
Yeah.
But bro, I swear when I was working with these guys, they get this on Thursday. They come to the show, Austin, Mick, blah, blah, blah. They've got the show. Mm-hmm. Bro, they have my promo, and they've worked on it. Mm-hmm. I would say this way. Instead of saying this, can I say that? They freaking were right. They had the promo. Then they were able to put it in their own words, bounce it off of me. Bro, there's no excuse in the world why this stuff shouldn't be taking place.
Yeah.
Again, like I'm going to go back to SmackDown. Roman Reigns doesn't understand that he just got outsmarted by a job guy.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns needs to see that on Thursday and say, wait a minute, bro.
Yes.
Did Adam Pearce just get over me? No, I'm not going to let that happen. But a lot of times, bro, if they're seeing that the day of and they're pressed for time, they don't have the time to look at it. Bro, those guys, man, were looking at the show on the plane. Yeah. They're reading it on the plane. They're digesting it. When they walk in that building on Monday, they know that show like the back of their hand.
Yeah.
There's no reason it should be being done like this at this level.
Yep.
No reason, bro.
Yep. Amen to that. So with that being said, put the brand over, my man.
Yeah, guys, please just check out my two platforms, russosbrand.com and patreon.com/RussoTWC. Bro, we got dozens of shows on both platforms, different shows, and it's just like this talk with me and the great Dr. Chris all week long, guys, with the various talents. You know them all. Just check it out. Go to russosbrand.com.
You said patreon.com/RussoTWC, right?
Yeah, that's it, bro. Right there.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Yes.
Go here. Support my man, Vince Russo. Yeah, right there somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone. We enjoy you all as always. The chat was just lighting up today. A lot of people agree. Most of the chat room agrees with that, with us, that the Raw was absolutely terrible today. And so that's what we do here on Legion of Raw. This is a bit of a catharsis. I'm a doctor. By day, I'm a psychotherapist, and by nights, I'm spilling out and experiencing catharsis with my man Vince Russo after watching 3 hours of misery called WWE Raw. And this is why I love this show.
Dr. Chris, it's like a patient coming in to see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay? And you're there, you're sitting there, got your pad, the patient sits down, and here's your first question. You ready, Dr. Chris?
Uh-huh.
You've been seeing this patient now for about a year. I mean, however long Vince has known Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
20 years.
20 years.
So you've been seeing this patient for 20 years. This patient comes in, sits across from Dr. Chris. We could see this patient's had a very tough week.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Chris is sitting there, you know. Here's the first question. What was your name again? What we're seeing on this show every week. All right, Dr. Chris, have you ever had to ask a patient, what was your name again?
Never.
Never.
Absolutely never. Yeah. Well said, man. On that note, he's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone, and this is another episode of Legion of Raw. So